We're back. We have taken a little break from posting videos on YouTube, but here we are. We have plenty of bottles that we have shared and finished ourselves, so we're going to go through our recent bottle kills and tell you which ones we'd buy again and which ones we wouldn't. Hi friends, I'm Laura, this is Troy, we're Baker Drinks, and we've got our most recent bottle kills to let you know which ones we've replaced.
Yep, we've been taking a little time off from posting content. We have not taken any time off from drinking whiskey.
This first bottle, everyone knows. Most people have it on their shelf. It's the old Granddad 114. We've had a couple of these bottles before. I heard a rumor that it's going away, but I don't know if that's true or not, but I'd replace it. I like it. It's cheap. It's good.
Yep, and I think we did replace it.
Oh, look at that. We did replace it.
So another cheap one here. It's the Evan Williams white label, the bottled in bond. You know, a lot of people love this bottle. For some reason, it just does not hit our palate. It's not one we're going to replace. It's super cheap. It's good whiskey if you like that profile. So I'm not going to say I wouldn't recommend it to people, because I probably would just for the price and what you get, the bottled in bond. It's good quality whiskey. Just the flavor wasn't for us. One and done.
Next, I've got one that Troy has not shut up about since we got this bottle. That's the Rebel Small Batch Reserve. We definitely will get this again if we can find it. It's cheap. It was like $20-something, but it's not easy to find. So if we can find one, we're definitely getting it. Big fans.
So this next one, it caught a ton of hype when it dropped a couple months ago. And we went out and got it because everyone was talking so highly of it. It's the Jim Beam 7-year, the black label. I guess it's the new black label. Again, it's okay. It wasn't to our liking. It wasn't our profile. This one, we made some cocktails with it. We drank some neat. I don't think we sampled any of this one out. I think damage was all done by us.
Cocktails.
Yeah, but we won't.
It's a good mixer.
Yeah, it's a good mixer. We won't be replacing this bottle. Just, again, the profile wasn't for us.
I've got Pikesville Rye here. This one is nice, sweet, easy to drink if you're not a rye fan. We usually like big, bold flavors in rye, but I also like to have whiskeys that people that aren't necessarily into the big, crazy flavors, I like to have them on my shelf so we can share them with other people. So we will replace this one just for other people.
Just to share.
Just to share.
So this next one, it's also a one and done. It's the I.W. Harper Cabernet Cask Reserve. This came out in Oregon, and I think it was like mildly allocated. The lady at the liquor store sold this. I mean, obviously she sold it to me, but she sold me on the idea of it being like this great whiskey, and it's good. It's okay. It's got a nice sweet flavor. The proof was a little low, 90 proof, and the price was a little high for what it is. I think I paid like $55 for it. It probably will compete with like the Angel's Envy as far as like a finished whiskey, low proof finished whiskey. So if you like the Angel's Envy, you might want to give that guy a try. And if you don't like Angel's Envy, like us, one and done.
Next, I've got one from Starlight. This is a bourbon finished in Spanish brandy. This one, we're going with more of the brand, I guess. It's a situational bottle for us. We like that they do all these crazy different finishes, and if there's one that sounds really good or it's a pick or something, then we'd probably replace it. Maybe not specifically Spanish brandy again, not because we didn't like it, just it's more of a brand thing. We like to have several of their different finishes, and we definitely would get more.
Yeah, and it's cool to have an Indiana whiskey that's not MGP.
Yes, that as well.
Another one and done for us, and this might surprise some of you. It's the Wyoming Whiskey Outrider. This, I believe, was a Nancy Fraley project that I don't think she's involved with anymore. I think I saw a comment from her on one of the lives that she's not doing the blending for Outrider anymore. But this was one of hers, and it was good. I liked it. Laura wasn't the biggest fan of it, and that's probably why it's one and done. We don't like to collect whiskeys that only one of us will drink. We like to share pours, and if you got a bottle that's just for you, it's not as fun. So one and done.
I've got another situational type thing. This one's blackened. It's one of their, it's a limited edition exclusively for Bevmo. It's straight whiskey finished in black brandy casks. We enjoyed this bottle. It was also like $40, which is amazing. We just, we're not looking for it, I guess. But if we see one, another cask strength that's cheap and has a cool finish, we'd probably pick it up.
So this is the Yellowstone Toasted. Again, another one of them bottles that came out with a little bit of hype when the toasted craze was hitting everywhere. I think Yellowstone might have been a little late to the toasted game,
yeah.
But they did come out with a product, and it was good. A little lower on the proof end at 100 and a little high on the price end, and so we will not be replacing the Yellowstone Toasted.
This next bottle, it doesn't look like much, screw top, boring label, but this is the Jepson's Bourbon. This one is finished in port. Delicious, absolutely delicious, cheap. They spent no money on bottling. All the money must have gone to what's inside. Big fan of, we have this port finish. We also have a cognac finish.
Cognac. We have another port.
Another port. So definitely will replace and try more of their stuff because it's delicious.
Yeah, they make more than just Malort, guys.
Yes, they do.
If you've watched any of our live streams recently, you probably heard about the fish whiskey. It's the Claremont Steep. This we will not replace. I passionately dislike this bottle. I feel like there is a conspiracy.
Oh, here we go, conspiracy theories.
So, American single malt is up and coming in the whiskey world. And I think a lot of these legacy distillers are afraid of it because they don't make it very good. I feel like Beam put this out specifically to lure some whiskey drinkers, some bourbon drinkers specifically, into the American single malts with this. And it was so bad that they're like, we'll never drink another one, thus solidifying the bourbon drinker for life. At least that's my conspiracy theory. It's that bad. Avoid it. It tasted like fish.
Fish whiskey. Next, I've got Nulu. This is toasted French oak. We probably wouldn't replace this specific bottle, but we do like Nulu as a brand, and we would get more for the shelf if it was a pick from someone we know, or if they have an awesome finish, because some of their finishes are some of my favorite whiskeys. But these toasted ones, I don't really go for toasted. It's not really my flavor profile so much, but we do like Nulu as a brand, and we'll definitely add more to our collection.
And just when you thought we were done, there's more.
There's more.
Like I said, we've been busy. This is a Copper Sky. It's a limited release. This was actually a Bourbon Junkies pick. It's Madeira finished. I think Bourbon Junkies asked their patrons what finish they wanted for their Copper Sky pick, and it was overwhelming Madeira. The bottle was really, really good, almost like a liquid dessert.
It was very sweet, very sweet.
But we'll probably never be able to get another one. First of all, Copper Sky is not distributed in our area, and I don't know of any of our friends out there that are doing picks, so this was probably a one and done for us.
It was fun to have on the shelf, though.
Yeah.
Very sweet. It was, you got to try this. It's so different.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those you got to try this whiskeys.
Well, good timing, because next I have the Angel's Envy finished rye. So this one I feel like had pretty similar profile as that Copper Sky. Extremely sweet, overly finished. This is Caribbean rum casks finished, but it is very desserty. I like to have something like this on the shelf, again, for people when they come. And, occasionally I just want something really sweet in my glass. So Angel's Envy finished rye. We haven't picked up a backup yet, but eventually we will.
So this is the Saints Alley. It's batch number 5. It was finished in port and cognac casks. Saints Alley is kind of like a collaboration project from Iron Root and MGP, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's blended and aged in Texas. It's pretty good stuff. It's just kind of spendy. It's only available at Total Wine in our area, and Total Wine jacks the prices up even more.
Especially lately. Oh my goodness.
And then the Washington State hell tax on top of it. You're probably looking at it, $125 for one of these, and it's not a $125 whiskey. So this is likely a one and done, although we do really, really like the Saints Alley whiskeys. It probably would be a buy again if it was in that $80 range.
Well, we didn't plan out the order that we were doing these in, but the next one I've got is also Saints Alley. This is the Nobleman, and we did replace this one. We like this one so much that we replaced it already, so we already have a backup. This is straight rye whiskey finished in Tokai casks, and it is amazing. Tokai is very sweet. Mm-hmm. It goes with the spiciness of the rye. It's a great blend. So we replaced this one already, and it's still on the shelf. They made it seem like this was going to be some special edition that's not, right. That wasn't going to last. So we rushed out and got a backup, but it's still sitting there. So I don't know, maybe they just keep putting out more, or nobody buys it around us. Not really sure which, but It's delicious.
And we got turned on to that bottle a couple years ago. It's Bourbon Night. Chad and Sarah listed that in their top 5 ryes for 2022, maybe.
Maybe. It's been a while.
And so we saw it on the shelves and we're like, oh, that's that bottle they were talking about. We brought it home and tried it. It's amazing. I've shared it with a couple people. They thought it was amazing as well. So having the backup is definitely a good thing, because it's probably one of my top 10 ryes of all time.
It's delicious.
This next one, ASW Duality Double Malt Cask Strength. This is a really, really good double malt whiskey. A great proof, 114.6. It's got everything you want. It's that smoky, sweet, malty. It's just a very well put together whiskey. Again, it's only available at the Total Wine near us, and they charge way too much for it. So unless some of the other stores around us start carrying this thing and charging a reasonable amount of money, this was a one and done. So if you got some samples of this from us, and I know some of you did, drink them, tell us what you think. We were big fans of this one.
And this last one, I'm very sad that it's gone. This is the Sagamore Port Finished Rye. It was from this year's, this batch 3A. Oh my goodness, this thing, phenomenal bottle. We shared most of it just because, it's a pretty difficult one to come by. So we felt like more people needed to try it because it's so good, but it's so sad that it's gone.
Yeah, it's pretty old whiskey that's aged for an additional 3 years. I think it's 9 years total. So 6-year-old whiskey aged 3 more years in a wine cask. It was a 7-barrel blend. It was a distillery only release, and then I believe they shipped it out if you lived in the state of Maryland as well. But we were fortunate enough to get that one, and like Laura said, it's sad to see it gone, but we shared it with a lot of really good friends, and they all really, really liked it.
And hopefully we will be able to get one again this year.
And Laura said last on that one, but she meant last for her.
That's for me, I guess.
And now it's last for both of us. It's the Peerless rye. This is the small batch rye. It's really good. It's just like a $130 bottle. It's too much for what it is. We won't replace this one. If I see the Peerless small batch rye like in a liquor store for $80, I would think about it. But at $130 at Total Wine plus tax, it's like a $160 bottle, and it's not that. It's not worth that. So one and done on Peerless small batch rye.
Well, thanks for watching us go through a ridiculous amount of bottles today. Let us know what you've killed recently and if you'd replace them, because you know we're all emptying bottles eventually. So you got to know, is it worth buying a second time, or is one enough for you? So please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.